The following presentation is brought to you by the Pride of ODU, the official NIL collective of Old Dominion Athletics. Be a monarchist. Join the Pride.
What's up, Monarch Nation? Welcome back to the Monarchist Basketball Show. Happy New Year, Coach. How's it going?
Happy New Year. It's going. I'm excited about 2025.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great year. Let's jump right in. All right. So we had a game a couple days ago, Virginia Wesleyan. Obviously, we'll talk about the previous games, but that game, it looked like a couple lights came on for some guys. And one thing that RJ mentioned in the post game presser was that the game at Louisiana Monroe, that road win gave the guys a lot of confidence. Could you see that in the guys leading into that game?
Absolutely. Teams like us that are, so new to one another, going through everything for the first time together, like positive things tend to snowball, just like negative things tend to snowball. So being able to go on the road, play as well as we did, kind of let it out the bag a little bit, but then get it back and be able to come home with a win. I think it did a lot for our guys' confidence. So RJ is 100% correct in saying that, and we're trying to build on that. It's always been about, hey, let's get prepared for Sunbelt play, and that was a great way to get started.
Now, there's a lot of things you could point out about this ULM game that led to the victory, but the number one thing for me, apart from Robert's performance, is the team free throw shooting. 20 of 24 from the line. You don't win this game without that performance. What was the magic sauce in that game to get you to be so successful from the line?
To be honest with you, I can't necessarily say for sure what it was. I know we've done different things. We've talked about it before. Shooting free throws in practice and running when you miss and not running when you make, and the peer pressure that causes and the focus that causes. But also it's, guys are taking their time and spending time shooting extra free throws. And then, we're getting more comfortable. We're getting to the point of, just having some confidence stepping to the line. So, you couple all those things. It also really works when you have your best free throw shooters taking the free throws. And, Sean Duro Gordon being a guy that's getting to the free throw line multiple times a game is also helping us out as well. So we're building, man. We're building. And, that's one area that we definitely have improved is we just got to keep it there.
You're not kidding about pressure. So Mike and I were at practice last week, and we saw the drill that you're talking about there at the end of you picking out who you wanted to go to the line at the time. I know Mike and I were talking to go, is there a normal order? But based upon what we saw, I think you might change that up.
Well, usually everybody shoots, and it's just dictated by time. So literally all 17 guys go to the line and shoot the ball. So it's usually that way. Time constraints made it a little bit different. So, some of the guys that, don't necessarily get on the floor as much, we didn't have them shoot. But anybody that does and that we expect to play every single night, we had them shoot the ball. So y'all also caught the nicer version of it because they didn't have to run as much if they missed. They, I think, like it sometimes because they know I don't want to embarrass them. So I think they like it sometimes when we have company, so to speak. We tone it down a little bit. So when you guys walked in the gym, I'm sure they were very happy to see you guys.
I have terrible hearing, but I thought I heard at the end, the last shooter, you said if you make both of these, we'll see you back at 4:45. That give a little bit of inspiration and a little bit more nervousness to know that if I don't hit these, we ain't leaving yet.
That, and I made sure that was the freshman.
You sure did.
I made sure that was Caden. He knocked them both down. So hey, that's good to see. Good for him to show up in that pressure moment. so that when that pressure moment arrives, when the lights are on, he's been, for as much as we can, kind of manipulate a situation in practice, as close as we can get to it.
Another thing I wanted to highlight from the ULM game was the big minutes played by Jaden Johnson and Robert Davis Jr. Both over 40 minutes. Obviously, that's a lot to ask of a freshman and basically a second-year player, but they both came and delivered. Any thoughts on that?
Just we've got guys, and again, I know, back when we first got here, and I talked about depth and being able to play multiple guys and things like that, and the plans and the vision you have don't always happen right away. And right now, we're not in a position where we can play that many guys, and they're to be as effective as we need to be in order to be able to win. So, the minutes that Jaden is playing, obviously impacted by Emo, not being able to play. So, his minutes have gone up. I think he's done a really good job of accepting that challenge and staying out of foul trouble and taking care of his body off the court and on off days and things like that, so that he's capable. And then Rob, still not being 100%, what he's doing is great to see. But I mean, all of these guys are doing it. Steph is doing it. Sean is doing it. Big Kyle is doing it. And, RJ, is doing it. And these guys are really stepping up and taking on the challenge of, obviously shouldering a pretty big load in terms of minutes every single night.
Well, let's hit the elephant in the room, because I know we've gotten the question from a lot of fans is, Devin didn't play. He only had a few minutes the game before. Did notice that he had a brace on his foot, so I'm assuming that's some sort of injury he's working through.
Yes, and I don't want to go too much into detail with it. Just he's not healthy. He's not cleared to play. We hope he gets better soon. He's got some things that he's got, with doctors and getting some things checked out. So, we'll just keep our fingers crossed and pray for the best. But and Devin's been at every single practice. He's there encouraging his teammates. So. Whenever he is able to contribute, he will. But for the time being, he's trying to help us out in other ways, and that's bringing good energy from the sideline.
So, in a quick follow-up, I know we haven't started talking about Virginia Wesleyan in depth, but Rico played about 7.5 minutes at the point guard position. Is if Devin's out for an extended period of time, do we look to see more of that, or it just depends on the matchups?
Yeah, it'll kind of be determined by how things are going. We have Rob can play some one. Sean can play some one. Sean can get us into our offense. Vitautis can get us into our offense. So we do have other options, but Rico is a natural point guard. The Virginia Wesleyan game gave us an opportunity to get him in the first half, and at least see what it looks like if we ever had to do that in a Sun Belt game. So you could see it. You could see other guys get, and you could see both. We could, Rico could get, some minutes here, but we could also give some point guard minutes to some of the other guys as well. So that is the versatility that we're going to have, this year, next year, the year, like we have to have that. So, but we also, the injury bug has kind of caused this situation. I won't even say it as a negative. It's just the situation we're in, and we'll try to make do with what we have.
So I want to. In the past, we've talked about different players, but we haven't talked about Sean Dura Gordon that much. When he came in, everyone knew he was like a talented scorer in the ISO mold, but I don't think any of us expected him to be this good on the offensive glass. Has that surprised you?
No, not at all. I mean, he averaged 7-point-something rebounds a game last year. It is something. He has a knack for the ball. He wants to be around. Like he's got a nose for it. He knows what he's doing. So I want to make sure we acknowledge like Sean, RJ, and Steph are incredible offensive rebounders, and that is something that as they've done a better job at it, we've had the opportunity to be more successful. So these are things we're going to need to see from them going forward, and it becomes becomes contagious. V gets into the game the other day and immediately gets an offensive rebound. Like, he's not one of those guys that I just named, but, it becomes contagious. Guys just chasing the ball down. So, Sean is definitely, I think literally he's like ranked in the top 10 in the country in offensive rebound percentage, and one of the highest in terms of a guard doing it. So, and his nose for the ball is something that is truly valuable to us, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it.
All right, so let's talk about rebounding a little bit more. So obviously you've got rebounding on the offensive end, trying to get a second shot, and then you've got on the defensive when we're trying to start our possession. I imagine the two are very different, or not very different, but
No,
maybe
they're
different mentalities. Can you
they're
talk
very-
to the fans a little bit about rebounding overall, and like you talked about those three being really good offensive rebounders, but we've been talking about rebounding to this point of the season as an opportunity for us.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that people have to remember, and it's coaching. And if you talk to any coach right now, just like a lot of coaches will complain about, players today don't want to talk. Well, players today also don't like boxing out. They just don't. It's not, I guess at younger levels, it's not taught as much anymore. And if you were to poll coaches, that's going to be in the top 5 issues that they have. Having a knack for the ball and boxing out are two totally different things. The guys that a lot of times someone who's such a great offensive rebounder is not a great defensive rebounder because of the lack of boxing out. We've got guys that are good at one, and we've got a couple of guys that can be good at both. We need to be a much better defensive rebounding team for the way we play. And obviously, any team wants to limit the scoring opportunities for their opponents. So we're okay, but we could be a lot better. And that is one of the areas that, as the season goes along, we need to keep making strides at, amongst other things. But our defensive rebounder being one of them. And then still to be as, you call it reckless, just have that reckless abandon going after offensive rebounds.
Now, continuing on this whole thing of hitting up players that have been doing some good things lately, Cal has been a menace on the blocks. He also seems to be looking more and more comfortable every game in the offensive set. I know he had an off-season surgery or injury, and maybe that delayed his impact on the game, but it seems to be growing with each game.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's getting more and more comfortable. Again, just reminding everybody, like, he didn't play. The last 2 years at Maryland, he did not play. He spot minute here, spot minute there, but for the most part, he went out there, fouled a couple guys, and came right back out. He went out there, gave Julian Reese a breather, and came back out. So, this is his first time in college basketball getting the minutes that he is getting, and I'm very happy with his progress. Cal will acknowledge, and I will be the first one to say, he can get so much better. Like, there's so many things that he can get better at, but he's making progress. Very happy to have his size. Again, you talk about, national statistics. He is, in the top 25 nationally in block shots. He's doing a really good job. His shooting percentage keeps going up. You talk about guys getting up extra free throws. He's always in the gym shooting free throws. He's working. He's working. And if everyone you coach has his type of work ethic, like, then you got a chance to be really good. And hopefully we have him around for another year after this, and he will leave his mark on this program before he graduates.
You're not kidding about being out there early. Last game, I was at the TED almost 2.5 hours before, and for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and he was out there, and Robert was out there working,
Yeah.
and then everybody else as well. But
yeah,
I don't think people realize.
Yeah, I'm proud of our guys. Literally, the work that they put in. Like, you can say what you want, but you cannot deny that these guys want to do things the right way. Like, we finished practice today with just a talk about our fan base, with a talk about how blessed we are to play at ODU, how blessed we are to play in the 757 with the passion that our fan base has. And, every chance I get, I remind our guys of that because it is something that, a lot of other places you may just overlook that. But we are lucky. And for our fans to know that these guys are working really hard too, we want to be great. We want to be great. We want to be great as soon as we can be great. It is a process. We have been patient, but these guys are working really hard, really, really, really hard to have the best season we can this year and to lay the foundation for what we hope will be years and years of success.
You read my mind because that was the first thing. I don't even think you had sat down in the post game presser the other day that
Yeah.
you made it a point
I
to
mean,
talk about the crowd.
that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. It's a Christmas break game. Like no students are here. Like, a lot of people are with family, so there's so many other things you can be doing. And I mean, my expectation was that the crowd wasn't going to be great. We had just played at Louisiana Monroe, and no offense to them, but there was 50 people there. Like we don't have to worry about that. Like we don't our fans are going to show up for us. And come on, there's a lot of places that just can't say that. And I was just so happy to see how many people were there. And even those that were there to root for Virginia Wesleyan, it was just an unbelievable college basketball environment. And again, I'm so proud to be the ODU coach. And again, I'm busting my ass, man, to try to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure our fan base has something that they deserve. And that's a winning program.
I'm going to back you up on the fans thing because I saw an update today. We are leading the Sun Belt in attendance again.
Yep.
Coming off a 7-win year. Obviously, you coming in brought some excitement, but that is a testament to our fan base, and we know it can get better, which is the cool part. This isn't our top of how our fan base should be. This is like the low end of our attendance. It should only go up from here.
Well, and I agree with that, but to be honest with you, the fans can get better, yeah. But we need to be better on the floor. We need to be better. We need to make fans excited to want to come to the games. And it's not, hey, let's go root on our guys. Just how about we're excited to go root on our guys? This game is going to be exciting. This game is going to be you're going to see things. And to be honest with you, we are laying the foundation for that. Even the games that we have not won at Chartway, a 1-point loss the first game, an 8-point loss to GW, a 4-point loss or 3, whatever it was to Northeastern. But we're in every single one of those. And I love it. I want some blowouts. I want to win by a lot and not have to worry about it in the last 10 minutes. But if every game comes down to that, again, I like our chances. Our fans are willing us on. Our fans are making sure that we're going to keep fighting. We're not going to quit. And our fans make that a lot easier. So, in turn, we got to be able to reward and represent them the right way. And that's, we're going to continue to work to get better.
Well, speaking of blowouts, I'm not sure what was said at halftime of the Virginia Wesleyan game, but that second half, man, you guys put it on them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not one of these, these guys know, if I've got that fire and brimstone speech, we're going to use that when we're playing for something. These guys know, I think we prepare. We work our rear ends off in terms of film prep and scouting reports and things like that. We prepare our guys. I don't have to come in at halftime and, cuss them out or anything like that. If I ever do that, they'll know that I really mean it. I can't be like that 100% of the time and it be as effective each and every time. So, I trust that we're preparing them the right way. We're instilling in them the things that will, last no matter who we're playing, where we're playing, how we're playing. But it was just literally them coming out in the second half and, our defense was really good and we made shots. And it was so great to see those guys get in at the end, the guys that work so hard. So shout out to them too.
All right. So when you have a game like that and you've got some breathing space, you're able to go deeper into your bench. And two guys that we saw more than we've seen are with Caden and V. Can you talk to fans a little bit about those two guys and kind of where they are in their progress of working up to get more on the floor?
Yeah, they're getting better. They're just like the rest of us. Like they're getting better every single day. Caden Diggs, man, like he's chomping at the bit. And had our games and the game flow of our games gone a little bit differently, he would have had the opportunity to play more. And this is not a knock against Caden, what I'm about to say, but the games were coming down to one possession and like literally having to value each and every possession. Like it has definitely stunted their growth a little bit, and for V as well. But as we're getting more comfortable, they're able to do more. Now, injuries and the way the season goes is also providing more of an opportunity for them. And as we go through Sunbelt play, and I think both of those guys are getting well rehearsed in what Sunbelt and how physical college basketball is. Um, they'll have opportunities for their minutes to increase, and I'm looking forward to that because they both can help us win some games. And again, like they're freshmen. They're in a different circumstance. If this was year 3, a freshman maybe gets to play through some of the mistakes a little bit more because he's got 4 guys around him that truly know what is expected and how I want it done. This year, just it's been different, and it's not fair, but it's just it's reality. So, but I've tried to stay in both of those guys' ears, letting them know that hey, just keep working, keep working, keep working. Their attitudes are great. Their attitudes are unbelievable. And again, their day is coming. They both got to play a little bit more last game, and I don't see any reason why that won't continue going forward.
All right, a couple episodes ago, we talked about how you're teaching the concepts you're trying to install and how you're going to break it down to more like simple steps, learning one part of the concept until they can figure out the entire concept. And if we looked at game 1 versus the last couple games, the offense looks completely different because of that, I think. How far along are we in installing the entire offense? Is there a lot more to go, or I'm just interested because it is much more like, I'm not trying to be hard on you, but the team basketball is clearly growing each game, and it's good to see.
Yeah, I laugh because it's a head coach's dilemma. It's I want to do all of these things. I want to do all these things that I think are cool, and this is the way kids want to play, and like this is exciting, and we can throw this lob and get a dunk, and the crowd like I've got all these things that I want to do, but then you have to decide what can you do and what can you do to be effective, and it is the internal struggle that I go through. I've gone through it for 25 years, and it takes my staff to pull me back sometimes. Like, hey, coach. So, so that's why I'm laughing because I mean, this is literally I won't say daily, but a weekly conversation. We are getting better. We are deeper into the playbook, but we have so much more. Um, there are so many things that I think we're going to be capable to do. You got to remember too, like some of it is personnel based. Some of it is based upon the health of your team. And, I think there's some things that I like to do right now that I can't do until we have a full roster of exactly what we want. But I love the players we have, and we're tweaking what we would like to do to what we can do, what this team can do. And I think it is showing its versatility, but there's so much more that we'd like to do and we will be able to do in the future.
All right. So in a couple days, Arkansas State is coming in. A-State, they're 10-3. Really good team. They, narrowly lost to number 2 Alabama earlier this year. They beat Memphis, a ranked Memphis team. I know that you've been watching lots of, I guess it wouldn't be film now. I don't know, watching electronic media on these guys. Can you talk to the fans a little bit about A-State and what they're going to see when these guys come in?
Yeah, I mean, they're tough. They're very well coached. They play really, really hard. They've got a little bit of everything. They've got shooters. They've got guys that drive the ball and finish. They're athletic. They're very disciplined on the defensive end in terms of just their physicality and like they're united. They're connected. I'm proud of our team and where we've come, and I am looking forward to Thursday. We get a chance to. I mean, I called them. I think I called them the Big Bad Wolf, and I know that's their mascot, and I didn't mean it, any derogatory way, but I mean they're picked to win the conference, and we have aspirations, and to be able to go against them on our home floor, I'm looking forward to Thursday. We have one more day to prep, and we'll be ready to get after it. I hope that we do everything we can to make the game as good as it should be.
Saturday we host Southern Miss, who they are one of the conference favorites leading into the season, but they've struggled lately. What can you tell us? I mean, I don't think you've looked at them yet, but what can you tell us what you know about this program?
So I actually did get a chance to watch them last night because they played on TV last night. So in my preparation, I had Arkansas State on my laptop and Southern Miss on TV. So I got to watch a little bit of them. And I think the biggest thing with them is Andre Cabello, first preseason first team all-league member, had not played since maybe the third or fourth game of the season. And last night he played for the first time. So they were missing him for almost 10 games, if not a little bit more than that. And he's back. So, they were one of the preseason favorites for a reason. He was a huge part of that. And now that he's back and healthy and playing, he does provide definitely a different Southern Miss team because he's active and available.
So I just want to take a quick step back, Coach, because it's okay to call him the Big Bad Wolf, because I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to say it's true. I'm a Washington Commanders fan. Haven't had a lot to cheer for over a long time. I don't like the team name. And when they were trying to figure out what they were going to call them, Red Wolves was an option.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yes. And I don't know if this is true, but I don't know where I heard it, but I heard that it was a trademark issue that kept that from being seriously considered. So to me, they are the Big Bad Wolves because my team has got a crappy name now.
Yeah. So I'm a huge Commanders fan as well. And I didn't even mind the whole Washington football team thing. Like, I didn't mind it at all. So I'm with you on that. And, quick side note. So I played in North Dakota for the Dakota Wizards. They were the Wizards before the Washington Wizards were the Wizards. And a similar situation where there were trademark issues that I guess at the time Abe Poland and his company paid the money to be able to have the Wizards as a name. So I like to say I played on the original Wizards team. But so yeah, I've been on the other side of that before. So
next time you could just say I played for the Wizards and not add any context to it. That's all.
I'm not gonna do that. I actually had a cup of coffee with the Indiana Pacers. I'm very proud of that. But yeah, I'm not gonna be out here fibbing.
Well, it's not fibbing; it's the truth. It's just misleading a little bit. Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. We can't wait for this week. 2 games at Chartway Arena, both conference foes, both talented teams. Excited to see what we can do against them. Get out to Chartway, root on the Monarchs, and have a happy new year. Thanks again, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it. Happy New Year to Monarch Nation. And, we'd love to see you guys out Thursday. Most important game on our schedule. And then if you ask me on Friday, Saturday is the most important game on our schedule. We do need Monarch Nation. We're so happy and blessed to be able to represent you guys. But having you guys in the building this weekend would be tremendous. And go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs. Join the pride of ODU.